Welcome to Marketplace with Charles, where dreams are turned into reality. Marketplace is brought to you by Art of Skincare. Art of Skincare, the company that brings out the beauty in you, as well as Kuisa Lodge, situated at the heart of Mabalingwa Nature Reserve, where you sleep, dream, and wake up with the big five. If tranquility is what you're looking for, then Mabalingwa Nature Reserve is where you need to be. And when you're there, look and ask for Kuisa Lodge, for you will never regret you made Kuisa your choice. On Marketplace, we aim to empower and equip you with tools that you need to achieve your entrepreneurial dreams. Each week, we bring you insight from experts in different fields of business, from men and women of faith. Today, we meet a life coach and a Neuro Linguistic programming, abbreviated NLP, who is also working on this progress. Success in business is not just the product of one's great strategies and hard work, but it also calls for a total well-being of a business person in all aspects of life, including personal relationships and family. Business success at the expense of the important relationship amounts to no success at all. My guest will help us bring some of these issues to light today. Tshilidzi.
Yes.
Welcome to Marketplace with Charles.
Thank you so much for having me, Charles, and to all your viewers out there.
I understand you come from one of the best places in the whole world.
Definitely.
Vuwani.
Vuwani, yes.
Is that where you were born?
That's where I was born, and I grew up there. I did my primary studies there, and also did my secondary studies there. Yeah.
And after secondary, have you studied further?
After secondary, I went straight into the job market.
Yes.
I started working just a year after my matric. I started working. I went into the railways up until 2017 when I bid them goodbye. So that has been my journey from when I was born. And yeah, from 2017, that's when I jumped ships into NLP and life coaching. And
any reason why you had to jump ship? Was it sinking?
No, not really. It wasn't sinking. I believed that from high school and jumping straight into the job industry or the corporate industry, I felt that somehow I missed the opportunity of self-discovery. Because for me to jump from high school straight into the job industry, it was because of the circumstances. Being labeled as a breadwinner at home, you somehow feel the push to say, sometimes you have to let go of yourself so that you can go and assist others, which are your siblings that are behind you. So I felt in 2017 that I have run that race. The siblings that were before me already had went to school, they had completed their studies. So I said to myself, what better time than to go and, do self-discovery for myself. So that's when I jumped the ship. It was not an easy one, but it had to be done.
And it's challenging sometimes. I mean, if you have to start working, you have to feed your own family,
yes,
and you still have to feed your other family, the extended family,
yes,
which as black people we can't neglect.
Definitely, it was not the easiest. I remember when I took the decision, Charles, I spoke to my wife and we agreed that this is the path we're taking. And now the biggest challenge remained now when I had to break the news to my family, my mom and my siblings. Trust me, I couldn't tell them that I am thinking of doing this. I only had to tell them when it was done to say, I have done this. Because chances are, if I had told them what I was planning or thinking of doing, they would have convinced me otherwise. And like you're saying, coming from a black family and, with all these things that you grew up with them, they could have convinced you otherwise to say, look, man, you cannot do this. And they would give you what sounds like reasonable, convincing ideas to say, don't do it. So I had to tell them only when it was done. And yeah, it was not an easy one for them to come to terms with it. Coming month end and they are used to seeing something coming in. And when it doesn't happen, I believe the fear of saying, how are we going to survive? But I knew for me to say, I have prepared them to can be on their own.
Look, from Vuwani,
yes,
you can only be a policeman or a nurse
Yes.
or a teacher or a clerk. Why NLP? What made you to choose this career? Which is very rare. For
rare.
information, for me, it's for the first time to hear of NLP.
It's true, Charles. Also for me, I wouldn't say it's a coincidence how it happened. But in 2017, like I said, the beginning of the year, I started already embarking on a journey of self-discovery.
Yes.
I said to myself, the 14 years that I spent in the railways, I could see bits and pieces of myself there. Always being there for people, helping them to develop, helping them to become better people. And as I was embarking on this journey of self-discovery, I bumped into NLP and life coaching on the website. I was just trying to check psychology stuff because I said to myself, it's like I'm so much in connection with the inner person. And whenever I talk to people, I always want to talk to their inner beings. So psychology was in line. And then that's when I bumped into life coaching and NLP. So I read about it. And, it was more like I was looking into the mirror. I could see myself while reading that. And I was like, this is definitely me. Then I spoke to a friend, more senior, and then I said to him, I bumped into 1, 2, 3, 4. You won't believe the gentleman decided to pay for my studies to go and study NLP. After that discussion, he just said to me, go and check for an institution that offers this. Because,
wait a minute.
Yes.
We are talking of NLP.
Yes.
And I don't even have a clue what it is.
Okay.
Can we just try and unpack it for me?
All right. Now, NLP in simple terms, and because apart from practicing as an NLP practitioner, I also do training.
Yes.
I offer training to people to become life coaches and NLP practitioner. Whenever I am given an opportunity to unpack NLP, which is an abbreviation for Neuro Linguistic Programming.
Yes.
The neuro part, because that's how I define it so that it becomes easier. The neuro part is the 5 senses that you have as a human being. Now, we say in life coaching, as a human being, every second you receive 20 to 40 billion pieces of information through your 5 senses, which is your, we call it the VACOG, which is your vision, the things that you see, you receive information, your auditory, which is the things that you hear, and then you have got the kinesthetic, which is the sense of feel, of touch, as you may say. And then you also have got your olfactory, which is the sense of smell. When you smell, you're receiving information into your system. And then the last one, you have got gustatory, which is the sense of taste. Now, those information that you receive in seconds, it's in your neural space. Now, the linguistic, now this is the interesting part. The meaning that you attach to the information that you receive, it's the linguistic. And how you start talking because of the information that you receive. It's like when you receive news that says to you, I love you. You have received information. Now, that says to you, your system quickly looks for meaning to say, when somebody says, I love you, what does it mean? And this thing happens in a quick space of time. Now, you attach a certain meaning. It's either based on your experience. Maybe you have been told, I love you before. So the quickest meaning that you'll attach there, it will be based on your previous encounter. If there is nothing, your system will find whatever it is that is closest to the meaning, then you'll attach there. Now, the programming comes from the meaning. After you have attached a certain meaning, you behave in a specific way. So when we reverse it, we say, if you want to change the outcome, you have to go back and change the meaning that you have attached. Attach a different meaning, it will make you behave in a different way. So that is the neuro-linguistic part of life coaching.
And you do this through a certain company?
So far, I'm practicing as an individual. I do it as an individual. But the training part, that's what I'm doing with an institution called the Subconscious Frequency Academy.
What made you to pursue NLP against all these other careers?
Like I said earlier, the journey that I embarked on self-discovery, it led me into looking at the journey that I already walked in the railways. Being a manager in the operations, I had a lot of people that I was managing.
And you were earning well as a manager?
Honestly, I was.
Okay.
As I'm saying, the decision of jumping ship, it was not an easy one. Because the first thing that comes to you is to say, how do I let go of a stable income that is sustaining me?
Yeah.
But now when you look into NLP and doing self-discovery, you put away all these materialistic things to say, let me rather first have a internal fulfillment. And that's exactly what happened with me when I let go of the job. Now, the space that I was in after resigning, Charles, like I said, being in the self-discovery journey, I said to myself, who is Tshilidzi from where I grew up? What are the most common things from when I was still studying to when I started working until this space? What are the common things, especially when it comes to my interactions with people? I realized that I am interested in listening to people. And not just listening, but have the interest of assisting them to say, if it's a challenge or a problem, I want to see them become a better person after having an interaction with me. Now, that's when I chose.
So nobody can come to you and remain the same.
They definitely don't have to remain the same.
Okay.
But again, in NLP, it also must remain with the person. If their interest is to become a better person,
Yeah.
definitely they cannot come in contact with me in a session and go back the same. Because the one thing is that I cannot force the willingness in somebody. So if they come with the willingness to say, look, I am not happy with the space where I'm in, I choose or I feel the need to become a better person, definitely when they come into a session, they will never be the same.
Okay.
So that is the core of why I chose NLP and life coaching, just to see transformation in people. That is why the other part of me, I also do public speaking, which people would say it's motivational speaking, but I don't prefer being called a motivational speaker. I'm a transformational speaker because after speaking, there has to be a transition. Someone has to transform. So that's basically why I chose to do life coaching and NLP. So that is the space where I found myself in. So after having done it as just a qualification, you won't believe I did the qualification 3 times. I did the first time, I passed. But I felt the need to go back because the first time I was doing it for myself, I needed to find myself to go and attach a new meaning to whatever has been happening in my life. The fact that I grew up in Vuwani, I mean, if I carried that alone, I wouldn't have ended up where I am. But I had to go back and revisit the fact that I grew up in Vuwani, it doesn't mean I have to end somewhere, just middle status lifestyle. And I went back and I attached a new meaning to say, I was born, I'm still alive, I've got both my 2 feet and my hands. I can do something, I can become a better person. And that's when it went. The second time around now, I had the interest now of training because already I was a qualified facilitator and assessor. I said, no, man, I want to venture now into training this because the more you train or the more you teach something, the more you master it.
Yeah.
That was the second time I did the life coaching. Now, the third time now I went back, it was just practically, I was thrown into the deep end. A class was there full of people and I was given the opportunity to say, go ahead, here are your people, start training them. And believe you me, I had the best space of my time. I enjoyed that because I realized that life coaching now also entails you sharing your life experiences. And you'll be surprised how other people or your audience can easily relate to the story that you're sharing.
What would you say is an overall benefit of a client that has been exposed to NLP?
If we're talking business, Charles, in NLP, we have what we call the presuppositions. It's more like the Bible of life coaching and NLP, the presuppositions. And the one presupposition that I love there, it says, the map is not the territory. Meaning what you know right now, it's not all there is to it. There is a different view that someone can bring. The second presupposition, it says, there is no failure but feedback. Now, if you come into the business space, a lot of people, whenever they do business, and for some reason it doesn't go well, the first thing they want to attach is that I have failed. They hardly say the business has failed. They say, I have failed. And the moment you say, I have failed, you have put a dead end. Now, life coach and NLP brings a new perspective to you to say, look, the fact that the business didn't go well, let's start by attaching a new meaning. You are not a failure. The business failed. And what is the reason it failed? Chances are you didn't take the best option. Chances are you didn't do enough research. Let's go back. Let's review. There are chances that something didn't go well. Now, that's problem solving. That is the first benefit that one gets when they do NLP into life coaching. Now, the moment you start analyzing what the real problem was for a not so well doing business, then it means you will have a solution. There is an analogy that I always share with people to say, a problem known is a problem half solved. If you know what the problem is, already you have solved half of that problem.
Yes.
Because a lot of people, their biggest challenge is that they don't know what the problem is. Now they go around with their resources trying to put out, not the fire, but the smoke. And then by the time they get to the fire extinguisher is out.
It's finished.
So the benefit of life coaching there, Charles, the first and important thing is that you get to learn how to find what the real problem is. And the moment you do that, you save a lot of effort and energy and your resources to go and solve what the problem is. The second thing that you also benefit from life coaching or NLP into business is that you become a better person when you know where you are from and why things happened. You go back, you don't go there with the intention of changing the things that happened. Some of the things you cannot undo.
Yeah,
you have to live with it. But you can change the meaning that you have attached. To say because the business has failed, it means I'm a failure. You need to go and change that to say it failed because I didn't apply the right procedures or processes. Now there's an opportunity for me to go and do something different. The issue of setting up of goals, that's also what you find in NLP. And this time around, setting up of goals is different from what we would do in the corporate environment. You know, the SWOT analysis, the talk of your strength, your weakness, you have got your opportunities, and then you've got your threats. Now, in life coaching, we change that one around. We no longer call it a SWOT analysis. We call it the SDOC tool, which is the SDOC. We have just changed the weakness part, and we replace it with the development areas. Because the moment you say to me, this is my weakness, you are owning a negative thing to say, I'm not willing to do anything about it. It's my weakness. I've accepted.
It's my sickness.
It's my sickness.
Yeah. You can't even take it.
You can't do anything. No matter how much best pills we can give you, they're not going to cure you because you have made up your mind to say, this is my weakness. And a weakness versus a threat, you are done. Because if somebody says, this line of business you want to enter into or venture into, it has got a threat, and you bring your weakness. This weakness, the moment it hits a threat, you don't even start. You see yourself as a failure before you even start. So we tend around these things to say, let's rather have a development area. This sounds more, it's optimistic to say, I'm going to do something about it. It's a development area. It means something can be done about it. Now, the threat part, we change it there and we say, it's now a challenge. A challenge says to you, I'm here. What can you do about me? And you are still a distance away. Now, before you get to that wall, already you're thinking, should I run through that wall? Should I get myself the best hammer to break it down? Or instead of me wasting my energy, should I run around the wall? That's when now you view it as a challenge. Now, that's why we're saying when you set up a goal using the SDOC tool from an NLP point of view, there is no way that you will do your business plan and you see it as a failure. So that is one other benefit that you get from NLP.
I am doing my business plan now.
Okay.
And you know what? I'm going to revise it.
Definitely, definitely. And the other part that I forgot to mention, Charles, from the strength part of setting up a business or setting up a goal, when you talk of the SDOC tool, normally people look at their strength physically so to say, when I'm venturing into business, this is the strength that I have. But we normally don't focus on the internal strength that we hold. And that is what NLP brings into the picture to say, don't forget the internal strength that you hold. What internal strength are you talking about, Tshilidzi? The fact that you are a person of persistence, that is a strength to you. You are a person of honesty. Honesty is your drive. That's your internal strength. Meaning, if somebody comes and sell an idea to you to say, but you can just give me a little bit under the table, and honesty is your strength. You will hold on to the fact that I rather do it straight. If it means I'm going to get there late, the fact is I will end up getting there. And I will not get there with any regrets. So that is a strength, because some people easily fall prey of the quickest way of doing business. And tomorrow, when it catches up with them, they feel like, we are done. So internal strength is very critical. Look at the challenges that you've encountered before, even if it's not business-wise, but personally. The fact that you overcame them, this become your new internal strength.
Yeah.
You need to counter on it to say, if I managed to go 3 days without tasting bread when I was growing up, so for sure, I can sacrifice certain things in my business for it to be successful. So that is also another benefit that you get, but only when you sit in a session and we take you, on your own journey that is unique, because a journey that Charles is going to embark of NLP, it's not going to be the same as the journey that Tshilidzi will go on.
So in other words, you are dealing with business people and individuals.
Definitely. That's what we do. If you're a business person, we first put away the business. We deal with you as an individual, because whatever makeup you are personally, that's what you reflect on the business. We always say in life coaching, Charles, that the body and the mind are a systematic process. What is happening internally, you cannot lie about it. It's surely going to show in your business. Some people who are good, they can look at your business, then they can tell the character or the kind of person that you are by simply how you do business, because you cannot have two faces. You might try, but people who are, especially in NLP, they can tell to say, the person who runs this business, chances are he's a person of this caliber. And by looking at your books, of course, your auditors will tell the trades, okay, this is what has been happening. But from an NLP point of view, we can tell.
Let's talk about the other approach.
Yes.
That you employ to help people. Do you have any other approach?
Yes, there are other approaches, which for me, it's two of them. The personal development and also the change management. Now, after you have taken an individual through the NLP space, you help them to go and attach new meaning. Automatically, that says to them, there has to be change. Change is going to happen. And change is a very critical aspect, Charles, that if people are not told about it, most people, they crumble at change. Some, they don't move an inch with all the resources around them. And they don't realize that not moving as well, it's change. Now, change, it's inevitable, as they say. If you don't change, change will change you. And that is the worst part. You don't want change to change you.
Okay.
But it's easier when you allow change to happen, when you move with change. Of course, in the business and also in the corporate environment, it's different. You don't just allow people to go through change. You assist them through the change, meaning you tell them of the benefit of this process that they want to enter into, to say, when you allow this change to happen, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's going to benefit. So change management is very critical. That is the other part or the other aspect that I throw in apart from life coaching itself. And also the personal development. You need to allow people to understand that why are they doing or why are they going through the change? It's because they need to develop. And a developed person, it's a person who looks back and say, 2 minutes ago, I was in this space. And now I can tell that after having taken this one step, there is a noticeable change. I can say that I have changed for the better because I didn't just move from point A to B. I moved from point A to point better. That's how we say it in life coaching. Yeah. And we believe, that's what we agree with Denzel Washington when he says, some people, they can easily move, and that's when they confuse movement for progress. You can just move around, but not progressing. You can move
You're too busy doing nothing.
Yeah, you can just move Tshilidzi from Vuan and you give him a house in Sandton and you think that he has progressed. In fact, you have just given me new problems and bigger problems, in fact, because you didn't now, one, tell me that there are rates to pay in Sandton. You didn't inform me that food and all this stuff, the price, it's not the same as the loaf of bread that I'll buy in that Indian shop down in Vuan. So unless if you've prepared me for this big move, then we can say I've moved from point A to point better.
Tell me, you said if you do not change,
yes,
change will change you.
Yes.
How important is it to manage the change?
It's important in a sense that, Charles, the other part on the change cycle, it's where people crash because they don't see the benefit of the change. And there is also a saying in life coaching that goes, change will only happen when the pain of staying the same outweighs the pain of change. So what we're saying there is that either way, there is pain involved. Staying the same, it's painful. But the only time a person will change is when they wear the two things to say, this pain of staying the same, it's far, 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 far more than the change of pain or the pain of change. So it's important that we manage change so that we don't leave people out. Some people are going to just move, like the example I gave. You're just going to move a person into center and you say they have changed. But if you don't manage from a close range, you'll be surprised that 2 days later, the person is more stressed. It's more in what we call now the latest sickness that is troubling people, depression and all that, because you didn't manage it from a close range. And especially in the corporate environment, organizations, they bring change drastically so. So we are cutting jobs. We are taking away overtime and all that. And they did not prepare or manage the change to say to people, this is where this ship is going. So to save it, we need to start minimizing here and there. Allow people to understand why things have to be done.
But it's very difficult to go to the people and tell them we are changing.
Yeah.
And in the process, you are going to lose jobs. Because if you go to your staff and say, we are going the cost-saving measures.
Yes.
And the cost-saving measures, it means we must start using the robots.
Yes.
And we are laying off half of the staff. They'll start stealing from you.
Definitely. But the good thing is that there's also one strategy that I learned when I was still in the railways. We used to call it the hamburger model.
Yeah.
To say, whenever you have to give people feedback or you have to share the news, the hamburger, you have got the piece of the roll on top, which is soft. So you need to go in there, start being soft, tell people of the good things that they've been doing, how important they've been into the organization. Then you throw in that hard patty in between. Which is the reality to say, hey, guys, yes, as much as we've been doing good, but where we are heading, the economy is not looking good. And that's where now the toughness of the matter is. And then when you close it off, you throw in also self-softness there to say, but one thing I know is that I believe in you guys. If you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, you can just cut a little bit of hour there on overtime, do this 1, 2, 3, 4. Guys, I can assure you, the tough times ahead, we will not even feel them. So it's also how you approach things, because change, you cannot do away with it, but how you manage it is how you prepare your people.
Look, time runs so fast.
Very much.
When you're having fun.
Yes.
And when you're being changed, because
Exactly.
I'm also being changed.
Yes.
But if someone needs more of this,
Yeah.
how do they get hold of Tshilidzi?
Tshilidzi is a very simple person to get hold of. There is a website that we have for my personal business, which is www.trthecoach.co.za. That is the website. You can just go there and check and all the services that I offer. And then also you can catch me on my cell phone number that also has WhatsApp and direct messaging there. The number is +27 73 1899 513. And then also the email address, it's there. It's tshilidzi@trthecoach.co.za. And also, Charles, you won't believe, I'm also a cab driver by day or night when I'm not busy. So there are some of the clients who bump into me, and while we are driving each other to their destination, they get to know, oh, so this is Tshilidzi the coach. Yes. And that's where you can find me. And also through the Subconscious Frequency Academy, you can just Google them, their website, and then you can catch Tshilidzi on the training side of things.
I am Charles Ngobeni signing off on Marketplace with Charles. You can get hold of me on Instagram, Charles_Ngobeni, or on Facebook fan page, Charles Ngobeni. You may also want to subscribe on YouTube channel, Charles Ngobeni. If you subscribe there, you can also catch the repeat of this material. This has been great. This has been awesome. You want to go over it over and over and over again until you are changed like I am changed. God bless you. See you next time, same channel.